Good morning, students. Moving on with the parts of speech, now that we have already covered the noun, we are left with pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. Now, before moving on to pronoun, let us revise noun. Now, noun, there are 5 types of noun basing on their perceivability, and these are common noun, proper noun, material noun or concrete noun, then abstract noun and collective noun. Basing on their countability, they are divided into countable noun and uncountable noun. Basing on countability, we can classify them into singular or plural form. Now, a singular form of something can be changed into plural form by adding s or es, like boy, boys, girl, girls, cow, cows, like that. And for certain exceptions, like for child there is children, for man there is men, for woman there is women, so on and so forth. So every countable noun has got a plural form on its own. Now, basing on the gender again, the noun, it has got 3 gender, that is masculine, feminine and neutral gender. For masculine we use he, and for feminine we use she, and for neutral gender we use it. For example, the female gender of a tiger will be tigress. The same for a lion will be lioness. For man there will be a woman, and so on and so forth. So the gender conversion or the types of gender and classifying them also comes under the types of noun, that is under the 3 masculine, feminine and neutral gender. Moving on to pronoun. A pronoun is a word that is used instead of a noun, and the definition goes such as a pronoun or pronouns are used in place of a noun that has already been mentioned or that is already known, often to avoid repeating the noun. For example, Kate was tired, Kate went to bed. So here we can also write Kate was tired, so she went to bed. Ram is a good boy, Ram goes to school daily. Okay, instead of that we can say Ram is a good boy, he goes to school daily. It replaces the repetition of the noun. Okay, similar to the classification of noun, pronoun also has got its classification into different types, and these are personal pronoun, reflexive pronoun, emphatic pronoun, demonstrative pronoun, indefinite pronoun, distributive pronoun, relative pronoun and interrogative pronoun. Now let us look at each of them. Looking at the table, we can see personal pronoun, singular form, and for plural form, the nominative and accusative form for the first, second and third person again. Now, who are these first, second and third person? In case of pronoun, the first person is I and the plural form of I is we. The second person for singular form is you, and again for the plural form for second person is you. Now for third person, it can be he, she or it, and the plural form of these 3 can be they. The nominative, it shows your personal expression of something. So I and we, then for second person you, and for third person he, she, it and they. I am taking the singular and plural form together here. Now for possessive pronouns. Possessive means what? Something that belongs to someone, or belongingness of possessiveness. Like he is my brother, it is my book, that bottle is mine, don't touch it. Okay. Now our family went for a picnic. So all these things shows your possessiveness. The bottle or the book or the family, all of them, they belong to a you. Now, and for the second person, you and your, it will be what? Take your mobile phone, otherwise it will be lost. Grab the chance when it is yours. Okay, all of these examples, they denote personal pronouns. Then for third person, do not touch that book, it is his. Do not spend money, it is his. Do not touch that belt, it is its. Now when I say its, it can be a dog here. Okay, so this is the belongingness showing to or towards a noun. So accusative, like do not touch me, do not bother us. Then for you, you are being called by the teacher. For third person, accusative again, the book which you are holding, it belongs to him. Okay, so you can blame him for all the chances you got. So these are the examples of personal pronoun in the third person. Now coming to the proper definition of personal pronoun, we can see the pronouns I and we, which denote the person or persons speaking, are said to be personal pronouns of the first person. The pronoun you, which denotes the person or persons spoken to, is said to be personal pronoun of the second person. You is used in both the singular and plural form. The pronouns he, she and they, which denote the person or persons spoken of, are said to be personal pronouns of the third person. It, although it denotes the thing spoken of, is called as a personal pronoun of the third person. Whenever you feel the confusion, you can always go back to the slide or the tabular form of the pronouns attached to the first, second and third person presented just before this slide. Okay, now in order to make you understand, I have given the definition on the slide itself, and whenever you have any doubts you can approach me. Okay, I wrote it like this. Now it, although denotes the thing spoken of, it is also called as a personal pronoun of the third person. Moving on, let's go to reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns show what is being done or what is being done to what. Okay, when self is added to my, your, him, her, it, and selves to our, your, them, we get what are called as compound personal pronouns. So these compound personal pronouns are called as reflexive pronoun. When the action done by the subject turns back or reflects upon the subject, like I hurt myself, we hurt ourselves, she failed herself. Okay, she failed herself in the relationship or in the exams. Okay, the cat bit itself, right? So all these things, they are reflexive pronoun. Moving on, let's go on to the emphatic pronoun. When the reflexive pronoun is taken too far or it becomes, you got exaggerating type, you emphasize it, it is called as emphatic pronoun. So here this is compound personal pronoun plus exaggeration. Okay, compound personal pronoun being reflective pronoun plus emphasis. Okay, so it will be emphatic pronoun. We saw the Prime Minister himself. Now this sentence itself could have stopped there. We saw the Prime Minister, but an additional himself is added. That means you are emphasizing on the seeing of the Prime Minister, right? So we saw the Prime Minister himself. The town itself is not very large. Here itself was not required in this statement, but you are focusing on emphasizing on the town. Okay, so you have added itself here and it becomes emphatic pronoun. They themselves admitted to their guilt. Even there you need not use themselves, but still you have added. That means you are emphasizing that it is their guilt. They have admitted that they have done that guilt. Okay, so no one else is responsible for that. Moving on to demonstrative pronoun, it means showing something. Okay, so pronouns which are used to point out the objects which they refer are called as demonstrative pronoun. Like this book is mine, that pen is yours, these books are mine, those pens are yours. Okay, so this, that, these, those. So the plural form of this is these and that is those. Okay. Now, singular form and plural form of the same pronouns. Coming to indefinite pronoun, the pronouns that refer to persons or things in a general way but do not refer to any person or thing in particular are called as indefinite pronoun. Now here, for example, one must not boast of one's own success. Some are born great. Here one and there some, both of these are indefinite pronoun because you are not referring to a single person but you are saying that in general. Okay, you are talking in general sense for everyone. So this pronoun does not specify a certain person. You are taking general sense in this. So this pronoun shows which is not definite or not specific or particularly aiming to one person. It becomes indefinite pronoun hence. So to each his own whims. Okay? So you are not mentioning who is that each. Okay? Who is that some or who are those. These are indefinite pronoun. Moving on to distributive pronouns. Distributive pronouns refer to persons or things one at a time. For this reason, they are always singular and as such followed by the verb in the singular. Like each of the boys gets a prize. Either of you can go. In here, the verb is what? Singular. Even either is also singular. So in both of the statements or the examples, you will see that they have pronouns in the beginning of the statements, each and either, okay, and they are in singular form. And here, that is why they are called as distributive pronoun. And both of them, they get a verb. Okay, so they always are singular and are followed by the verb. Coming to relative pronoun refers or relates to some noun going before, which is also called its antecedent. Here is the book you lent me. Here is the book that you lent me. I found the pen, I lost the pen. I found the pen which I lost. So here the pronoun that and which, they relate both the sentence. They act as connectives here. So relative pronoun are what they relate to some noun going before it, which is called its antecedent. So what is this antecedent here? Antecedent is book and here it is pen. So in the first sentence, here is the book you lent me the book. So book is being repeated here. Here is the book that you lent me. Now I have found the pen, I lost the pen. The pen is being repeated. So what you can write? I have found the pen which I lost. Okay. Coming to interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronoun, as you get through the word, interrogation is what? Seeking questions of some sort. So these pronouns are similar in form to relative pronouns, like the use of which, who. Now, for example, this is the boy who I was speaking about, right? They are what? Somehow similar to relative pronoun. But the work which they do is different. They are used for asking questions. Therefore, they are called as interrogative pronoun. Now, the relative pronoun, when they are used for seeking questions, they are called as interrogative pronoun. Like say, look at these two sentences. I asked who was speaking. I do not know who is there. Whose is this book? Which is the house? The relative pronoun you can see in the first example and also in the second example. But in the last two examples, whose and which, and they end with a question mark. Okay. So whenever you use a relative pronoun and also you use it for seeking questions and the sentence ends with a question mark, this is called as interrogative pronoun.